out against Winky Wright, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins, here back in his hometown, Philadelphia. What's going on?
Chilling here with you, man, with the fights Friday nights, you know what I mean, at Dow Hamer. You know what I mean? Philly's in the house, man. They jam-packed here, so it's good.
After a couple weeks after the fight, I guess you probably watched it at least once. How do you, anything that you saw on the tape that you know that you picked up that you didn't see in the ring that night?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen a lot of holes, a lot of opportunities, and I capitalized on them. I seen that you had to be rough early and then maintain that, and then
it take you a few rounds to figure him out a little bit?
It took a few rounds. It didn't take too many rounds, but it took a few rounds. It took a few rounds, and you know, it was a carefully skilled technique fight. Inside, not cute, not fancy, but it was what I had to do to break his defense and make Winky Wright fight out of character, and that's what I done. It wasn't pretty, but I had to do that because he don't have a pretty style. So when a guy doesn't have a pretty style, I can't look pretty. So I had to make it like an ugly fight. But in the meantime, the things I was doing in there was old-time boxing. Old-time boxing.
I kind of said when I wrote a post-fight report, the old master strikes again. Is
I read that, and I just say thanks to you, even though you're partial, even though you're non-biased. But I thanks for you for giving me the tapes and the fights that I viewed and looked at for 7 weeks with Freddie Roach and John David Jackson and Brother Nazim. That was a perfect blessing to me and helped me dissect every inch and every minute that Winky Wright had to that he presented to me.
That was before. Now you mentioned the ring. You're calling out Joe Calzaghe. Well, I guess the winner of Calzaghe and Kessler. Would that be basically it, or is it Trippy Calzaghe?
Well, Joe Calzaghe will be one of the biggest ultimate fights. I prefer Yankee Stadium before it closed down. I think if he can get 50, 60,000 people in his stadium, I believe the same people will travel across the water to the United States and fight Bernard Hopkins. So that would be great. That would be something I think that would be real great. It would be real big, and it would be one of my last hurrah in the legacy of my career. So I think it'd be a great opportunity for the world, his world and my world, come together, England and United States, and I will be the Apollo Creed of this era to take on the Englishman. If
that doesn't happen, I know you said you're on to big fights or making some history. How about cruiserweight or even heavyweight? Is that still part of the thought process?
The winner of Holyfield-Ibragimov, I want the winner.
Now, how about cruiserweight?
It give me a chance to fatten up a little bit.
So you would skip over cruiserweight or nothing?
Yeah, I'll come in 205. I'll skip right over cruiserweight and take the ultimate challenge. The cruiserweight division doesn't have a legendary name sitting there. It's always been a stopover for heavyweights. So, you know, why tease myself and go to cruiserweight where it's not bringing me that legacy to become one of the third fighters that was a middleweight that became a heavyweight champion. So that elite group is tempting to me to jump over 190 and fall in at 205, 210 with the great Mackie Showstone and have time safely and legally to be able to do that. And so I would like to have the winner of a guy that we promote, Ibragimov, because I will be in Russia.
Wow.
To watch him fight Holyfield. Is it Russia? Yeah, Russia. I would be in Russia.
13.
Right. I would be there with Richard Schaefer, myself, and De La Hoya, and I will announce it the second time because this is the first time I'm announcing it. Well, this is the first time that I'm announcing that I will fight. I would love to fight the winner of those two because those two are not big Klitschko brothers type size. They're not huge guys. They're heavyweights, but they're not tall, huge guys. Klitschko, I would never ask to fight. Sam Peters, I would never ask to fight. But a Holyfield who's big, but he's over there, he's over his prime. And Ibragimov, who's not a dangerous puncher. He's a small heavyweight. I would love to fight that.
You mentioned Moscow before. Suppose Moscow that defeats Peter, would he still be?
Oh, absolutely. I doubt if he beats Peter, though. I really doubt if he beats Peter.
How about Roy Jones? Roy told
nothing
me,
there.
Roy told me.
Roy fight 5 years tops, 10 years way too late. It's not even a selling pitch. To me, it'd be telling the public to spend their hard-earned money on a fight that doesn't have the same luxury and doesn't have the same history and doesn't have the same threat that Roy had 5 or 6, 7 years ago. And you know what? He's been knocked out devastating about 2 times. It's not like it was knockout where a guy got stopped by the referee or he was a little wheezy. He was out cold. That doesn't do anything for Bernard. Selfishly and personally, it redeemed myself in a way of what? I get the revenge of loss. But a loss is a loss, but even my loss to Roy back there wasn't an embarrassing loss. It was a loss of not ready to capitalize on the opportunity. I think a lot of people overlook the loss with Roy. It's a loss, but they really look at it like, hey, first title shot, he was young. That Bernard wasn't the Bernard now in 2003. That fought Tito, that fought Oscar, that fought 2 of the Jermaine Teller fights, the Tarver fight.
More people think they think Bernard Hopkins, you're undefeated for 12 years. That's what they think. That's the first
21 defenses. Jump up 2 weight classes and fight Tarver, who knocked him out. Glenn Johnson was undefeated 30-something. No, I knocked him out in the 11th. I can live without fighting Roy again. And again, this ain't disrespecting Roy, but I don't think the public is interested in it.
Did you hear the comments, I guess it was between one of the rounds, the Glenn Johnson fight? His trainer was trying to pump him up.
My name came up.
He said Hopkins doesn't want none of this. Bleep, bleep, bleep. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, he's right. I don't want none of him. I want some of Joe Calzaghe.
Any final thoughts?
I hope everybody continue to watch my legacy. In the next year, I think to be fighting one of the biggest fights since Oscar and Floyd Mayweather won. Bernard Hopkins versus Joe Calzaghe for the light heavyweight championship, the ring belt, the light heavyweight championship of the world. Here in some big venue in the United States.
You said,
I think New York would be perfect because it's a direct flight from Europe straight to New York.
You said 5 more years. You could do this 5 more years. Realistically, how many more fights do you think?
2 more fights.
2 more fights?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. One with Joe Calzaghe and a big one that I will lose with my wife in court. Not that I'm in court, but